G'day everyone, Aussie Shooter here again, and I've got today's paper. Now today I've got the Australian. Now I don't normally buy the Australian paper because it's quite big and cumbersome and usually full of leftist rubbish. So, but I bought it today because I got a text message from a friend of mine letting me know that there's a great story in there about David Leyonhjelm. And here he is. Here it is, page 8. There you go, September 25th, page 8. And the story is Mayor case cited by pro-gun senator. So, it's an excellent write-up, really good write-up for us shooters. And David here wasn't scared to let his feelings known about pro-gun policies and concealed carry. And I'll just point out some quick things here that he's mentioned. And I really urge you guys, once you finish watching this video, to get on the Australian website and to read this story in full. It's an excellent story. Okay, and this is an exclusive by Liam Quinn. Newly elected New South Wales Liberal Democratic Party Senator David Leyonhjelm has criticised the bipartisan mistreatment of gun owners, invoking the death of Jill Meagher. And he goes on to say, "Why are we forced to be defenceless victims?" Mr. Leyonhjelm said. "It's unthinkable that you can't protect yourself." So he's referring to Jill Meagher, of course, who was sexually assaulted and killed. And why isn't it more done for people's rights to be able to defend themselves against these violent criminals? And then he goes on to say, Australians might not be ready for concealed carry, but we need a change in thinking. And that is a very important point. We do need a change in thinking because this country is leaning so far to the left. Really, it's just crazy. And then he goes on to say, Mr. Leyonhjelm said he'd work towards changing the government control over firearms while in the Senate. "There isn't too much I could change in the federal level. However, I would like to see the Commonwealth withdraw itself from influencing state gun legislation." And that's a very important point, guys. We need to get the federal government out of this. So, and it's great that he's mentioned that he's going to work towards it, and that is really good news for us. And then he goes on to say he was particularly critical of the treatment of shooters. "Sporting shooters don't need to be treated as criminals," he said. "Bans on shooters are completely unjustifiable." And well done, David, for saying so. Good on you. So anyway, there you go, in Australian. Now, I was driving home today, and at about 5:05, I happened to be listening to 2GB, Ben Fordham's show. And for those of you that missed it, check it out on the podcast. I think his interview with Darren Hinch might still be there. Now, Darren Hinch and Ben Fordham were talking about this story. Now, guys, it's not a coincidence that they happen to be talking about this story right at the time when most people are getting in their cars and starting to go home. And they've tried to attack David again. Darren Hinch was basically saying, well, that David's a bit of a loony, that this idea of his is just absolutely disgusting, that he would use Jill Meagher's death to try and promote his gun laws. And also how wonderful, John Howard's laws are, Darren Hinch was saying. And really, I just couldn't stop rolling my eyes. It was just complete and utter bullshit. But it's not an accident that this sort of attack would happen on the most popular radio show in the country at the most critical time as well, the peak time. Because these sort of ideas that David's putting out there are extremely powerful ideas, and these are the sort of things that the establishment are petrified of. They're really scared of these sort of ideas. And the basic reason is, guys, is because these sort of ideas transfer power from the government into your hands. That's what it does. It transfers power, and that's what they're scared of. So they're going to try and get all these people, whatever celebrity they know, to get out there at all the critical times and to try and discredit him and his ideas. And this is what they do. They do it all the time. But anyway, well done, David, for speaking your mind. And I'm so happy that you're in the Senate and you're going to be talking about more of this stuff, and they won't be able to shut you up because you're in Parliament now. So there you go. Anyway, but that's really great, guys. And we need more sort of stories like this in the paper to really try and open people's minds up to different ideas. Okay, anyway, guys, Aussie Shooter signing out. Always fight for your freedoms, fight for your rights. Don't ever give up, because that's what the establishment wants. They want you to give up, they want you to lay down, and accept your tyranny. So don't give up, guys. Keep fighting, and I'll see you later.